Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, I am joined by another Groundhogg, a super user, a customer, and someone who I'm very pleased to meet. I am with Kris Britton of Kaybe. Kris, why don't you just take a quick minute to introduce
Hey
yourself?
everyone. Hi. Thanks so much, Adrian. Yeah, my name is Kris, as Adrian just mentioned, from KB. We are a UK-based marketing agency driven by me and my business partner, and an awesome team that sit among us as well. And we are very, very passionate about everything to do with digital automation and all the wonderful other things that marketing gurus get to work with these days, where it's turning more into a science than it is just being a traditional print business or something along those lines where you're doing canvassing. It's really evolved now. So we have a great team working here, and it's great to be on this call today.
And I know that you're like a certifiable super user, or your organization is rather a certifiable super user, because this is actually the first time that you and I have communicated, because I am always in communication either in like the Facebook group, or like my team is in communication with your team in like our ticket channel, because they're just getting it done and they're in there. So
Yep.
it's not just you, it's like your whole team is
Whole team. Whole
Groundhog efficient.
teams. Exactly. Site-wide, we've rolled it out across the business. We've even started to introduce Groundhog now to customers who are interested in using Groundhog, and basically bringing together CRMs. So we've got some customers who will have multiple CRMs and for different areas. So for example, customer care might work in Salesforce, and then they might have the sales team working in HubSpot, or the marketing team working in HubSpot, which just makes data a real mess. So
That sounds chaotic.
oh, don't even go there. Don't even go there. We all want a golden record. Just one record for one customer would be great. So what we look at doing is even now introducing it to customers where we can bring it all together. And that was ideally what we wanted to do as well as a business. So we need to practice what we preach, and we really want to use our own software. And if we're using that, then we're going to become experts in it and be able to help our customers as well.
So did you, when you found Groundhog, and we'll talk a little about what came before, but when you found Groundhog, did you implement it in your own agency first, or did you like experiment it on a client first?
No, we didn't experiment on the client first. We did spin up a staging version though, and we played around with it a lot, because there are a lot of products online that you can buy for a relatively good price that sell you everything. They say they're going to be fantastic at fixing this, and it can fix that, and the marketing videos are really good, because that's obviously how they survive as a SaaS business. However, we got Groundhog, and we were pleasantly surprised, because when you compare it to some of the cost of the other CRMs, you think, hang on, what's the catch here? Why is this going to be cheaper, more affordable, and do what I want to do and more without the restrictions? So it is a little bit of it was almost a little bit too good to be true. So we spun it up on a staging instance, and we thought, let's see what we can do with this. So we started with some dummy data, and the rest was history. Before we knew it, it was being put on our own website, because we're like, well, we want to see what are the behaviors are of people that we're marketing to, and see what we can track and what we can monitor, and kind of take it from there, which was great. And before we knew it, we were importing pipelines and deals and all of our other projects across from HubSpot into Groundhog. So we were, again, super users, if you want to badge us as that, super users of HubSpot. And I was, even me personally, really passionate about HubSpot until things went south with them. So all sorts of billing issues and all sorts of problems like that. And I don't want to be here to run them down, but when you've got a solution that works out the box, it just makes it a whole lot easier, because you don't have to worry about your monthly billing going wrong and these types of things. So this looked like a good fit for us, and that's where it all started.
The billing, I know from experience. I too used to be within the digital agency realm, and implementing
Mm-hmm.
mostly Infusionsoft for people. And when you get into, for us, it's really simple, because it's just like flat rate, don't have to worry about it. But when you do like SaaS plus add-ons, it
Mm-hmm.
and the add-ons are usage limited or usage billed, and the main product is usage billed, and then things compound like exponentially, and you're like, oh, it was not
Really
this much as
quickly.
it must like last month. It can be like a wake-up call, like, oh my God.
Exactly, especially when you're managing 10, 15 HubSpot instances. And before you
Yeah.
know it, my Amex is going, hang on a minute, what's going on here? You've just been billed hundreds of pounds this month, thousands of pounds even in some cases, just for one instance. So very quickly, it's like, hang on, we need to reap for control over this because this is
Yeah.
going wildly out of control. And because of the way the data is structured in their orgs with HubSpot, you kind of have to have a separate instance for each one because otherwise it gets very messy very quickly.
Oh yeah, no, there's no
So
question that
yeah.
that's actually one of the most like interesting use cases that I find for
Mhm.
like uh a lot of our more sprawling Groundhog customers, I'll say, where they have like they're one business, but they have like 6 different sites for like 6 different products. And
Sure.
not all of the products are like totally related. So they want to like keep separate lists. And from like the Infusionsoft days, I know that when we got clients like that, they obviously want to save money because they don't want to spend money on like 6 HubSpot or 6 Infusionsoft accounts. And it was just like so difficult to separate them inside of like one contacts table, right? Because you don't know
Yeah.
who came in for what, and the reporting and the dashboard just wasn't sort of like up to the task. Be like, you can just click and see all the people who belong to this business, or click and see all the people who belong to this business. Like that just wasn't possible. So
Because you
just
would have multiple, each contact had the ability to be a marketing qualified lead for one product, surely, and then the same contact could then just be a lead for another product that in that scenario from that
yeah.
point of view. But HubSpot only gives you that ability as one kind of sales funnel or marketing funnel, whatever you want to refer to it as, per contact, which then makes it tricky. But even if you start tagging and you put in custom fields and then you set up workflows to tag them based on their what pages and sites they're on, you're still going to end up overwriting data. And also when you look at the attribution models, it doesn't work. So they've been clever in what they've done. Let's give them credit here because they've given themselves a platform to build people at a crazy rate. But the user adoption has got to surely taper off, where people go, well, actually, it's great that it's free. And when you look at it on the surface, a free CRM, this is fantastic. 1 million contacts for free. Great. Of course, I'm going to use this. But as soon as you start doing any form of marketing or kind of management within it, boom, there goes your bills. And that's when it really starts to get expensive quite quickly.
I find it crazy how for like the vast majority of SaaS platforms, sort of like on our level of at least functionality, their billing starts at like 500 or 1,000 people, and it's just like that
Yes.
is such a small amount.
Tiny.
It's a tiny amount for most people. Like most people who get to the point where like I need a CRM probably already have 1,000 people, just either like in a CSV file from, I don't know, QuickBooks or something, right? And then just
Yeah,
want to
of course.
export that and import it. And it's like, oh my God, you already have to pay.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more there, actually, because before you know it, you can quickly, even if you're building up a mailing list and you put a mailing list on most people's websites, you can get to 1,000 contacts extremely quickly. As soon as you hit 1,000 contacts, you want to send one email. Well, hang on a minute, this is going to get costly. You put that onto any kind of custom WordPress website where you're dealing with thousands of transactions a month, you're immediately multiplying that out. Take that as let's say 1,000 a month that you're acquiring. That's 12,000 a year contacts, and before you know it, it becomes expensive again. So yeah, it's like I say, it's cleverly built from a commercial point of view. When you look at their commercial proposition, it's very clever, but it becomes expensive. Do I think they could retain more customers? Yes, but I think their customer service has really gone down. And this is another area that I think Groundhog do really well on, because it's not even an example of having this video. You go beyond what I think a customer wants, but you listen to what a customer actually wants, rather
Speaking
than
of
just
that,
making an assumption.
we just a couple months ago we released like the 3.0 of our pipeline, which got a huge UI update and a bunch of new features. And your team were one of the main proponents and evangelists for like, guys, we need all of these things and we need you to change
Brilliant.
this. And we're just like, okay, we'll do it. And I think it worked out for the better. Like this, like there's some features that have been sort of like on the list for a long time, and a pipeline was one of them. And I think we have something pretty competitive now.
Really competitive. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so intuitive. And even when we onboard new people, we had 2 new people start in the business in the last couple of weeks. And at the beginning of January, just for those who are watching this back at a later date in 2022. So we had a couple of new people start in the business, and you don't really need to give that much of a demo, because as soon as you're showing someone on the screen, you can just see them switching off going, this is really obvious. You don't need to go to this level of detail, because it's so intuitive. You drag and drop and you can move along and you click in, you can add notes and you can do all of these types of things. So it's really flexible from that point of view, and it does work really well.
And for your clients, like, is our pipelines kind of like your bread and butter? You're setting that up for people, or what kind of people do you typically work with?
So we don't want to say we work with anyone, but we work with anyone. So in terms of, it's very true. That's
like the number one thing you don't do, right?
Absolutely. But we did plan this from the beginning, in fairness. So it did work. It has worked out really well for us. So we do work with really, really tiny businesses where there's not even one person working for them because it's a side hustle. So we work from businesses of that size, and we work with some huge, huge enterprise logos and brands who everyone here on this call would be aware of, but we're limited in what we can talk about. But there will be huge enterprise brands on a global scale. So we work with, as I say, some really small businesses, and even on the enterprise deal, we implement Groundhogg, and we're using that to capture our data and pass them over as marketing qualified leads for our ABM campaigns and these types of instances. So as I mentioned,
okay, that's something I just want to dive into, because
of course
you're mentioning like Groundhogg being used on like an enterprise level, and personally, I'm not. I know that no enterprise companies are giving me money directly, and I know that you have an agency license. So that's probably, so I don't personally know enterprise, like any enterprise people. So I want to, you don't have to reveal who they are. Maybe you can after the recording stops. But like, what's the use case for that kind of level of organization?
Good question. So let's say a lot of it's, if we look at like IT and technology, tech stacks or telecommunication systems, so along these kind of lines, we want to basically be able to go out to market. So they will agree a marketing campaign with us, a 360 marketing campaign, where we'll have multiple digital touch points that we will be driving users to landing pages. From those landing pages, we'll be using IP fingerprint tracking, so the ability for us to be able to reverse look up IP addresses, find out what businesses are visiting, and then we start to profile those individuals within those businesses who would be the key decision makers. Those key decision makers are effectively what we use to then pass that information back over to them, also from lead capturing, form generation, and basically understanding who those users are before we then nurture them. And once they're nurtured and they've also been qualified, that will be the point that we pass over for them to send to their sales team or their business development reps.
So you're using like Groundhogg as sort of like a bowl where people fall in, and then that gets sent to, I guess, probably like their Salesforce team or their HubSpot team or whatever it is that the enterprise organization is using.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So, I mean, and it works really well from us from that point of view. So they're aware of how it works and what we normally do. And we were before having separate HubSpot instances for each of them, but being able to remove that from the equation, because I mean, even the customers, they're like, oh yeah, but we understand HubSpot. And we're like, yeah, but you'll understand Groundhogg pretty quickly too, because it's great. So we have actually rebadged it. You've got a great product that allows us to white label it. So we've rebadged it to Megaworks, because we've all part of a mega marketing team. Kaybe is a mega marketing team, and everyone is a mega marketer. No one has a job title other than mega marketer in the business. So we're all mega marketers. Flat. So exactly, we just have no hierarchy whatsoever. Everyone is all at the same level, which is great. And then so we call this Megaworks, and it basically, literally, from our point of view, does exactly what it says on the tin. So it's allowing people to work on a mega scale, but at an affordable cost. So we can then take our marketing to that mega level as well.
As a tracking and analytics, or from a tracking and analytics perspective, I guess that's probably sort of beneficial to have at least, hosting your own data capture and then passing it off to enterprise. Because if you kind of just like did direct to whatever their system is, there you don't actually have the ability as the agency to show this is actually what we were able to accomplish. And I know that from personal experience in the past, you can get in a little bit of hot water when you kind of take some businesses at their word, being like, yeah, we have the tracking and the things to like be able to see what kind of results you're producing from your marketing. And lo and behold, a month later, it's like, none of these AdWords works. I got no leads, right? And like, you're looking at the Google AdWords sheet and you can see that there's like a conversion rate, but of course you can't log into their system because you don't have access to be like, look at all the leads we generated.
Exactly. And I think this is one of the hardest things, is that before we were having so many data sets we're trying to pull together, but when we can have them all in one location and we can render the lists and extract contacts really easily for processing and all these types of things, it makes it a lot easier. But when we were having, oh, this is on that Excel spreadsheet, that's then triggering in Zapier to push into this Google sheet, and then that's then pushing this data to here. And when you've got all of these triggers and zaps and flaps and everything else going on in life, then it does overcomplicate it. So here we've now just got everything condensed down into one effectively data hierarchy for us to be able to use, and then we can kind of explore that data hierarchy and exploit it however we need to in order to get the information that we need.
So coming down a level from enterprise, which we're going to have to talk about another time and
Sure.
dig into that, because I'm just like, I'm always interested in like the enterprise use case, because that's just not our target audience usually.
Of course. Sure.
I mean, $480 a year to an enterprise organization is just laughable in reality.
Exactly. It will cost them that to raise a purchase order for you.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Precisely, right? And okay, so coming down to like kind of our audience, which is small businesses, e-commerce shops, and sort of like, I don't know, maybe sub $500 million a year.
Yep.
What kind of work are you doing for them?
Good question. So a lot of the work that we're doing for individuals, it will be helping them grow an online shop. So especially during the pandemic, we've seen a lot of businesses that have been affected. And for us, it's how do we go from a brick and mortar store to a click store. So we've helped lots of businesses transition to being online. What can they do to get their business online? Oh, and while we're in the process, can we also capture all of your data and move it online? I mean, the one I was least enthusiastic about doing was when someone literally said, I'll post you my customer contact book. And I'm thinking, Jesus, we're in a paper book. like
a literal Rolodex.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my goodness!
As you can imagine, that.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, that is fantastic. Mind you, that's still not the best one. We've had one customer try to fax us their logo, asking us for our fax number, but we're not going to go there. Anyway,
I love that. That's
a great little tidbit for you there.
You need to publish an article like the best, like just like a shit post of like crazy things my clients have told me. That needs to exist on the internet somewhere.
We've got our outbound sales team have got a list of excuses to not talk to us, and we've got some great reasons on there. That's one of them. But just to kind of put it into perspective, you might want to swallow that drink before I tell you this gag next. But just to put it into perspective, the level that we were dealing with people who are really, really switched on. They're really forward thinking. They've got social media accounts and everything. And then we've got the other extreme where we've got individuals who are going, I want a website, and how much is it going to cost? And we said, well, we don't really know how big your website is, so we need to have a discovery call. We need to find out a bit more about it. And then the customer will go, well, it's the size of a normal screen. I don't know how else to describe how big it is.
I saw that meme. I saw that.
Really?
I saw that developer meme on Facebook, and I literally like take my coffee. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
It was
so it's even
hysterical.
made it as a meme. But exactly. There are some people who are at this level, and we've got other people who are really forward thinking. They're posting on the time on social, but they're going, yeah, let's get my data into one org. But the interesting point is, regardless of where they are on the scale, everyone understands how important it is to have everything in one place to be able to then market out to their audience. Because it's almost like some of the individuals that we're talking to who aren't that forward thinking and don't have all their data in one place still understand that actually if they want to send all their Christmas cards to their friends at Christmas, they still need all their addresses in one location if you're going to put it in really simple terms to them. So if you want to send an email out quickly to your customers to say, oh, you've been affected by COVID and there's no appointments over the next 2 weeks, or you're not able to sell so-and-so, or you've got a stock issue, then if they've got all of their customers in one place, you can go, yeah, we can bang a quick email out. That's no issue. And we can help you with doing that. So everyone does get the importance regardless of what their technical skill set or ability is. And I think data as a whole, I think more people, the fear factor is what we come across more than anything else because of GDPR. We're blessed with the General Data Protection Regulation, for those of you who aren't aware of it watching this overseas. So unfortunately, that does make it a little bit difficult because we have to explain to them what a data processing agreement is and how we kind of manage those controls and how we who's responsible for what and who owns the data. But once people get their head around that and they've got a really good understanding of what's what with the data, they understand the importance of it, why they need it. So how we're using it is to basically bring together all their customer information to improve what they can do from a marketing point of view. And if they've currently got a website, it's like, great, you've got a website. What are you doing to engage with your customers? Oh, nothing. Well, how are you marketing your business? Oh, we just get a lot of orders around Christmas and Black Friday. Great. Well, what are you doing to market to people at Christmas and Black Friday? Oh, nothing. We just get the traffic. Right. Okay. Well, let's double that revenue very quickly by doing some quick email campaigns. Can we do something for Valentine's Day? Can we do something for Mother's Day? Can we do something for Father's Day? What can we do to help you market? Oh, I've never thought of doing that. Right, let's go back to basics. Let's do a marketing 101 here and really help you understand how we can help you grow your business. And because we, again, going back to everyone in the team understands how Groundhogg works, it makes it easier to then help all customers, regardless of what level they are in the business and how we can help them.
And from a when you go into a business and you install Groundhogg and all the data is in one place, like, do you at that point take care of it, or are your customers, are they comfortable logging in, writing emails, doing funnels, or do you find that your team does probably the majority of that kind of work?
We do the majority of it. Yeah. Most people come to us because they say, I want to run the business, and we have a WhatsApp group with every customer, and customer will literally just drop us a message going, can we do a marketing campaign on this, or I've had this idea, which normally comes to them in the early hours of the morning, and they go, I've had this idea, this is a great idea, and we go, yeah, we can do that into an email. Ask them to do it, and they'll go, I have no idea what I'm doing. And we know that if we put the onus on them, it will fall flat quite quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas if we're helping them, exactly. Whereas if we're helping them, we know it's going to happen. But then if they want to go in and look at it, or we send it to them for proofing, at least they know what they're going in to do and what they're looking for, and they are familiar with the basics then.
Yeah. And as you're an agency, I always love asking this question because I find I get a lot of different answers, and a lot of agencies work in different ways. But as a billing model, and it might be different depending on your customers, but some people prefer to do like project-based, some people have a retainer, some people have productized their services. And which kind of category as far as a billing methodology that you find you've been really successful with?
Good question. Because we span across so many different types of customers, we do two different types of the core functions are our standard billing and enhanced billing. So standard is they would pay in chunks for a campaign. Enhanced billing is where we can spread the costs over several months for their activity or their campaign or whatever they're looking to do. But our main business objective, which I think is okay to say publicly, because there's nothing groundbreaking in what we're trying to do, but we're shifting to a recurring revenue model. That's what we are doing as a business as part of our commercial objectives, is what can we do from a recurring revenue. We try not to work on retainers. We've never actually, we got close to having a retainer with someone once, but we've never actually had a retainer. Our retainers go as far as our hosting, but then that's just hosting costs that get billed on a recurring revenue point of view, or if it's part of a campaign. By the way, add that to your feature list. Recurring revenue invoicing would be great if we could have that in our pipeline. It's getting there, I think.
We have that as part of our really simple payments add-on. It's not a full invoicing tool though, which we want to be able to turn that into an invoicing tool. Right now, it's basically just like a one-click checkout form to all intents and purposes.
Okay.
And but
I'm thinking
it's definitely on our list to turn that into an invoicing tool, which integrates with the pipeline, so that line item list that's in the deal gets basically just one click turned into an invoice, which can then be sent. That's the end goal for that product. And the building blocks are there. Just in the next couple weeks, if not the next couple of days, you're going to see why that hasn't happened yet, because we've been working on something else.
Fantastic. Well, there's a teaser if you ever did hear one.
Yeah.
So in terms of the billing side of things, we generally tend to go on project by project basis, and then we have our recurring revenue from in terms of once things are live or once campaigns are live. But we do split those costs down over several months to make it more digestible for customers. And I think the luxury of us being able to do that is we've got the liquidity to do it from the enterprise business deals, which allows us to then help and support small businesses, which is really, really important to me personally and important to us as a business to be able to support those smaller businesses as well.
Well, I really loved learning about how you're using Groundhog and how that has impacted business. Would you say that the amount of business that you're doing now has been greatly affected or increased by switching from like a HubSpot or CSV model or whatever it is you were doing to Groundhog?
Easily, yes.
Easily, yeah.
Easily, yeah. Because of the visibility I've got over pipelines, and this is the most important part for us, and the ease to be able to then follow up. I mean, there are areas that could be great if you could alert users to then, oh, this deal has not been touched in a while, let's follow this up, and these types of small things. But I'm just being really nitpicky here. Like when you work in something day in and day out, you go, oh, could do this, could do that. But then that's just me. I'll always look for an area for improvement as opposed to always just giving praise. So, I've probably given a lot of praise on here. I'm going to give a few nitpicky bits as well.
I'm writing it down.
It would be great. Yeah, good. Yeah, I saw that. But yeah, it would from our point of view, it's definitely from my point of view, I've got the visibility, I can see what's forecast, and it helps me from a long-term cash flow point of view and business objectives and what we're looking to do. We can see if X amount is currently an upside, and we can see if Y amount is currently in contract waiting to be signed, etc. So these kind of deals are what helps. This visibility is what helps us for sure.
Well,
it's allowed us to grow.
I really appreciate you coming on and sharing graciously and sharing openly about your organization and how you're leveraging Groundhog. For people on this call who want to get in touch with you or learn a little bit more about how you're doing or what you're doing, or we have a lot of organizations who might need Groundhog help, how could people get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So every person in the business is just as friendly as this face here. You can find me easily on LinkedIn. My name is spelled slightly differently. It's Kris for Kris, and my last name is Britton, as in Britton. So check me out on LinkedIn. I love connecting with people, hearing their stories, seeing how we can help people. Also, you can drop an email over to hello@kaybe, spelled Kaybe.co.uk.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to spend it with me. I am incredibly grateful. If you are an agency, a small business, and you are leveraging Groundhog to create wealth and create growth for not only your own organization, but for the organizations of your clients, or just you're producing a great product and a great service that's helping a lot of people, and you want to get on a call like this and share your knowledge and share your expertise and share how you're making an impact on the world, I want to hear about it. All you have to do is email me personally. This is my actual real email address. It's adrian@groundhog.io. I am a very upfront and forward person. And if you want to share your story, just email me my story subject line and then the gist of your story. And if we feel like it's a good fit for the channel, we will reach out to you and we'll schedule a call just like this one. So if that's you, please let us know. Thank you. And I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day. If you want to follow up with Kris Britton, it's Kris Britton, KrisBritton on LinkedIn. We'll see you next time.